We clap
Three,
together.
2, 1. Oh, that was so good. Okay, hello everybody. My name is Alexandra and I am joined today by the amazing, lovely Michael Friedman. Woo. Hello. So Michael is one of our longtime friends from college and we're so excited to have him on the show today. Michael, why don't you introduce yourself? Who are you? Who is you?
Hi, my name is Michael Friedman. I'm an actor. I went to school with Alex. I studied at Nova Southeastern University, got a BA in musical theater. I've been working professionally down here in South Florida for about 5 years. 2 years ago, I moved to New York to pursue the dream. And now I am back in South Florida with my family for quarantine.
We got him back, guys. We got him back. What was your click, that light bulb in your head that said, theater is my life now?
Right. So my whole life, I played music. I played piano mainly since I was 4 years old. I really didn't do theater until I was 18. And really, I didn't do it seriously until I was 19, like right before college. Like literally, I did not do theater until college. I'm a teacher as well, and it's something I very much teach. Like people that are like 16 are like, it's too late for me. Like I can't belt a high C. Like it's too late. And I'm like, well, I didn't even start until I was 19, and now I'm working professionally and in New York auditioning. So I played piano my whole life, and then my girlfriend at the time made me do this theater camp that I actually teach for now, which is really cool. But she made me do this theater camp, and I got Aladdin in Aladdin. Not only Aladdin, I got Aladdin in cast A because it was double cast, obviously, as summer camps are. I got Aladdin in cast A and Jafar in cast B. So I was 2 leads.
Wow.
You know, males in musical theater get everything that they want. So that kind of was the bite for me, the bug bite for me for theater. I just fell in love with it because I was literally ready. I was planning on going to UM with the Frost School of Music for a piano performance. Like piano was literally my life for my whole life. And then like I had my audition songs like memorized, like I was ready for my piano audition, and then I didn't even go to a single one because literally at the last second. And I actually took a year off. I didn't start college till I was 19. So when I graduated high school, I took a year off because I was like, I don't know what I want to do. And then I decided to do theater. And that's actually a big reason why I did a BA instead of a BFA, because at Nova, they were like, we can tell you're not really sure what you want. And I was like, yeah. And they were like, great. With a BA program, you have time for both. Like you can finish your musical theater degree, but you can also just take piano classes if you want. Where like a BFA program is more for people like, this is what I want to do. I'm only going to focus on this. Halfway through college, I figured out that was mainly what I wanted to do. But like I still teach piano lessons. I music direct, so like that is still in my life. So I'm still glad I got that extra training.
Yeah, I even remember when you the Marias were talking about it, how you had started dance not until you got to college, and
literally never took a dance class.
And it was, I mean, when they told me, I was shocked because Michael was teaching me how to fall properly for dancing. And so, I was like, what do you mean he's new to this? And they're like, yeah, no, he's just good. So it was, I just think it's so funny because it is how you are. You're very quick. You're a very quick learner, which is one of Michael's loveliest qualities.
I think, and with any, because I teach a lot of high schoolers and they're all obsessing over what college to go to.
Yeah.
And, you know, yeah, it matters, but I think it's different for everyone. Like I said, I wanted to focus on other things at the time other than theater. And that's why I chose Nova. That's why I chose a BA program. Right. It was less intense. So I would have time to explore the things while still getting the training I needed to be the professional that I am today. And even though I wasn't in dance class every single day, like I was in a BFA program, because I was so new to dance, like I would just, like, let's say I had dance twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
Every other day, I would be in the studio dancing, like by myself, working on it.
Mm-hmm.
So just because you don't have a teacher like hounding you, you get what you put into it.
Right.
And that's what I think people miss about college. And even now, like there's things that I wish I knew before. Like I could have worked even harder. Certain things. So like that's really what I try to teach to high schoolers. No matter what program you go into, it's still gonna be what you put into it is gonna what you get out of it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and Chuck and I are still learning stuff. I mean, like you never stop learning even when you get out of college. And it's just crazy to understand the fact that, you know, where we were back then and where we are now, because it's been a couple years since both of us graduated. So we're kind of, it's
for me,
for you, it's been
4 years.
4, right? Because with Angelica too.
About the time that college was, I've been out of college. Yeah.
And then I've been 2.5 now, right? Because it's 2018. Yeah. It just hurts a little bit. It's just a little bit that it And now when we go back to mentor, everyone's a teeny bopper. And I'm like, I don't understand your problems. Get over it. Okay, so what would you say to the people? What is your favorite theater or musical exercise to do in general? Or one of them?
Yeah, so I believe, I always teach like theater lesson, life lesson. I learned from my teachers that it doesn't matter if you're going in, because I teach a lot of like little kids and middle schoolers and high schoolers. So it doesn't matter if like this is what you want to do for the rest of your life, or you're just here because you like theater and you're doing it for fun one summer or something. There's so much people can learn from theater. I mean, so many life skills. Like a lot of jobs just like to see that you have a theater degree, because you probably speak very well, clearly. You're not scared to talk in front of people. There's leadership skills that you learn. Like there's just endless amount of skills. That a lot of people are unaware that you learn with a theater degree. And I think that needs to be talked about a lot more. I think theater is a discipline. It teaches you to focus mentally on a single thing. Because you know, when you go into rehearsal, no matter what you just went through in your personal life, you gotta kind of, because you gotta learn new dance today, right? You gotta learn some harmonies, and like if you're clouded up here, like nothing's gonna stick. And especially once you're in shows, if you bring in your baggage from your morning, like you had a bad morning or something horrible happened to you, and you have a job to do, you have to portray this character, and you bring that stuff in, it's going to affect your performance. So it's very much a discipline, and that really goes for any job in the world. No matter what you've been through that day, that week, that year, whatever, you still got to do your job. I mean, you're still getting paid to be there. You're still responsible for things. I mean, that goes for any job, no matter what. So, and I think theater really focuses on that. It focuses on a lot of the psychology of being a human being. I mean, that's what theater is, the study of how to be human. So one of my favorite exercises, and it's the most simplest exercises, I did it at school. That's where I learned it, at Nova. And I do it I teach a summer camp. I do it every year, and they hate it so much. Like it's become this famous thing. There's no official name for it. You lay on the floor, on your back, just flat on the floor. And in a certain amount of time. In college, it was 45 minutes. But I only made students do 10. I don't think I've ever gone over 10. We usually do it like once for 5 minutes, and then next week we'll do it for like 10. But I should make them do it longer, because it really, just this simple exercise really like opened my mind to a lot of things. So the only goal is to get from completely on your back, laying down, to standing.
Oh, yeah. I remember doing that. I remember doing those. And
I did it with Mark.
Okay, yeah. Bill did it with us. And he said that we had to take our time. Like all he said was take your time to get up
We
there.
had 45 minutes to get from laying on our back to standing. That sounds really easy, but you had to move at a constant pace. You couldn't be like, okay, I'm going to move up here, and then I'm going to be here, and then I'm going to be here for like 10 minutes. You had to move at a constant pace. So getting from laying down to standing takes about 2 seconds, right?
I was so sore the next
those
day.
2 seconds to 45 minutes. Literally to move like this slow, and the concentration that it takes. And sometimes you're in like really uncomfortable positions where like you're like, my leg's gonna fall off, my leg is shaking. But like you need to put all that to the back of your mind. It's not about not dealing with your baggage, but it's having that control of this pain doesn't matter. Like me moving my hand right now is the only thing that matters in the world.
Right.
It's the most important thing in the world right now. And training your brain
to focus like that.
Focus on a single thing. Focus on your objective. Focus on your character development. Focus on, you know, what is my hand doing? Oh, like if like, you know how we don't know what to do with our hands on stage? Like to not think about that anymore and only think about your objectives and stuff. And that's the hardest thing to do as an actor, is to just almost not care. Because I think that's what great actors have to do, is focus on that one thing, then everything else falls into place. Because thinking about what are my hands doing is never going to help you.
Right.
I think that's one of the best exercises for that type of training, that really focus. It's that discipline of this show is the only thing that matters right now. Doesn't matter what happened. I'll deal with that after I get off work.
Right.
After my 2-hour show, I'll deal with what happened this morning.
Right.
But now I'm at work and I'm doing this show to make this audience of 300 people or whoever happy. Right? That is my job, to make their worries go away for 2 hours. So I got to put my worries to the back of my mind. And it's one of the hardest things to do as a human being. It's never perfect, right? You're never going to completely forget about your problems. So it's an ongoing, like you said, we're always learning. It's an ongoing learning experience of how to do that helpfully. Not like forget about your problems and pretend they don't exist. I'm here and this is my job now and nothing else matters. And it's it sounds like a stupid exercise, but you do it. And especially watching other people do it.
So cool to watch.
Like you can tell the kids that are like, okay, I'm in this. Like it's a stupid thing, but like I'm here, I'm ready to do this. And they'll like actually do it. And the kids are like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. Like you can see on the face, right? Or like kids will start to look at other people and like wonder if they're too far or if they're doing it right. So it's really, really, really interesting to watch. And I really love that.
Yeah, that's such a great exercise. The one that we do similar to that is called slow motion samurai. So I've done it with the kindergartners too, that they have to start at opposite sides of the room and as slowly as possible attack, you know? And first of all, it's adorable. And second of all, they're so serious. I find that my younger students are just so concentrated on this one thing because they're like, oh, okay, I have to win because the slowest person wins. So they do it and they go at it for a good 15 minutes. And for their tiny bodies to have that much control, and they're just, going for it.
It's amazing teaching children. First of all, how like smart they are and how much they know. And then also like all that baggage, like, I mean, some kids have it, but like a lot of it's not there. Like their heads are just clearer and
there's a freedom.
There's a freedom. Like they're just more willing to, in some ways, listen. Like even though little kids are louder and more rowdier, like they do trust you and listen, and they get a lot of things that some older kids, don't, because they think as we get older, we think we know. When you're that age, you don't know. As we get older, we're like, no, that's not right.
Right.
Size doesn't do anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's cool to see how certain exercises kind of form our form of theater or how we go about theater, and then going into life as well, because it's very true, you know. I think theater really teaches you how to be in the moment, you know, focus on your moment right now, what's happening, and be present for it, and then evaluate what's going to happen next when this thing is done, you know,
Sure.
prioritizing what's going to be happening. Because while I was building sets in the shop, I couldn't think about the fact that I had a car accident the night before, you know, like I had to do my job. So you have to find this balance, and it helps you to get that focus and to figure out what your next move is, and to just, you know, release it for at least a moment, you know, let it go for a moment, put it in the back of your head and focus on what's going on now, and then take the moment for that on its own time, and,
Right.
and be able to fully be
It's very therapeutic. I mean,
there.
because even though we're playing other characters, there's
Mhm.
definitely a part of us in those characters.
Yeah.
At least how I think about acting. There's some
Mhm.
acting. Like, it's like if Michael was in this situation with these characteristics, it's
Right.
not like, oh, I'm just this completely different character. I
Right.
definitely like to bring like a little bit of myself into it.
Mhm.
Um, so, you know, you're still yourself when you're playing these characters, and
Mhm.
dealing with whatever that character is going through can be very therapeutic for something you're going through, even if it's
Yeah.
not the same thing. You
Yeah.
always can relate it to your own life and
Yeah.
learn lessons from literally anything.
Yeah. I think that's what interested Angelica and I with doing what we do with Theater for Life,
Mhm.
because there is psychodrama. Whole category of theater exists, of Gestalt therapy, where you play out a situation that you've gone through, and you go through it with someone playing the person you need to talk to the most in that moment. And, you know, I found that definitely with characters that I relate to them on a whole other level, even the meanest of characters that I've played. They like to cast me as a villain sometimes. And you relate to those characters, you feel for them, and you understand them. And in a way, it kind of builds your own character, because you grow from understanding what another person, real or not, has gone through. Because theater stems from reality, you know, it is an educational tool to teach people certain themes, lessons, morals, and you learn those throughout the show, and they really do help you in the end, you know, even if you just take a class just for funsies, just to see, and just like release it all while you're there. I think it's a huge tool for everyone. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
The arts in schools.
Yes, lots of arts in lots of schools, all the schools. That's all. So, Michael, if I saw you walking across the street from me and I was like, who is that? Who's that person over there? What can I not tell just by looking at you by first impressions? What's like a fun fact or something?
Fun fact about me:
Yeah.
I hate peanut butter.
Really?
I hate it. The
I
texture,
didn't
the
know that.
smell, the taste.
Oh,
I
okay.
like almond butter. Almond butter is great.
Almond butter is yummy. So you like the drier texture?
Yeah.
You're like Angelica. Yeah.
It's just I never liked it. Horrible. I didn't like guacamole for a while.
Uh-huh.
I love it.
Now you love it? Why? What changed your mind?
No idea. Just as I got older, I understood.
That's like me and goat cheese. I did not like goat cheese all throughout high school, and then a good portion of college, and then I don't know what happened, but I ate goat cheese and I was like, wow, this is yummy.
I'm on the verge of liking tomatoes.
Okay.
So like every hamburger, no tomato, like no tomatoes on anything. And now like I'll have a tomato on a hamburger. Now I like get it.
Okay.
Get it.
I still can't do tomato. I like tomatoes. I just don't like them on hamburgers.
Really?
Yeah.
Like I get it. It makes it a little less dry. I get it now. It's still
That's
like
why I like eggs on my burgers. I like a nice sunny side up egg, so I pop it, and then Now's our kind of round table. Anything you want to say about theater, anything you want to promote about yourself, whatever it is you want, go for it.
I mean there's so much. we talked a lot about what theater, why I think it's important. But I mean, it's just important to the world in general. It's not just entertainment. Right. I mean, it is entertainment, but what is entertainment? Like, I loved all those memes going around that when quarantine started and people were like, you want to not give money to the arts, but imagine your quarantine without Netflix, without literally like any movies, TV shows.
Yeah.
Without all those, like, what would you have done? You would have no life. I mean, without art and theater, there's just no reason.
So boring.
Like, it's just so boring. It gives a lot of people a reason to live. I mean, it's therapeutic. It helps a lot of people emotionally. I mean, why do people watch movies? Why do people watch plays live? I mean, it's not just for entertainment. Like, it's to escape your problem. Or maybe they relate to the thing that person's going through, and that can be very therapeutic watching. I mean, I'm sure we've all had that experience, relating to something on stage and like crying about it that night and then feeling better the next day. Like,
yes.
I think it's just very, very important to the world. And like I was saying earlier, like, just the study of acting, it's the study of how to be a human being, and not just how to be someone else. I learned more about myself. Because I'm like, oh, there's part of that character in me that I didn't even know was there, and I'm that person, and I wasn't even sure about that. So it's exploring your own self. Yeah. And I know that sounds kind of hippy dippy, but like, I believe in like energy. Like, when someone walks in the room and says, "Hi, I'm so and so." Like, there's some people that you're like, seems like a nice person. But there's some people that like, you're like, I know exactly who that person is, and they are fun, and I want to be their best friend. And then there's some people that it's like, they seem nice. I don't know them, but there's some people who just like know exactly who they are, and all they said was hi in their name, right? Yeah. And like that energy that people just give off, and that energy that you give off, and sometimes that energy clicks, like even just from saying hi. I really believe in that, and I think that is a big part of theater. I also think, and we won't go too much into this, but like with auditions, like I think that's the biggest factor, because everyone can sing, everyone can dance, everyone can act, like everyone's talented, right? Like, step one, great, you're talented, you can play the part, great. Now what about the other 50 steps of like type and blah 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 and blah blah blah? Like, so people are always like, oh, I need to be the best. I'm like, yeah, great, but the best at what? hitting a high note, like the best at hitting a high note, like great. Yeah. If that character hits that note and needs to, but there's a million characters that don't, and there's also always going to be someone that hits that note a little better than you, and that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing at all. So
and personality definitely has something to do with your audition process as well. So
right, because I mean,
from a mile away.
If you're like doing a tour and you have to be with this director for 6 months, they're gonna be like, can I spend 6 months with this person? Yeah, she's the best singer I've ever heard in my life, but if I can't spend 6 months with this person, you're just not gonna get hired. And you have to answer those questions in 30 seconds. Yeah. A 30-second audition, right? And then you have callbacks, but like that initial 30-second audition, like, it's really just that energy that people get off, and your energy might just not mix with that casting director that specific day, and that's literally the only reason you didn't get a callback. I think it's really important to talk about that stuff and to learn about that. And like, I'm not talking about like chakras and all that, like that's a different story, but just like energy that you get.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe that people give off, and it's just like how when you're taking a test and someone walks in the room and you can't help but look. It's because you feel an intention from that side of the room. Right. Yeah. Nothing needs to be said. And that's funny because it's a Meisner technique as well, that you walk around the room and you all have to stop at the same exact time. You don't stop until you're able to do that, because you have to match energies with everyone in the room to have a successful whatever goal you're looking for, to be connected, which is what we do with improv training too. In Second City, they were teaching that same exact thing. They're like, you have to go again. You have to go again. Just so that, because we only had a week with each other. So they honed it in super early so that we were all connected right off the bat. and then it just flowed. Then every scene was just so easy because you understood them without knowing them, which was so weird, but it works.
For sure. And just to talk about auditions like a little more, like I always tell my students, the most important, I tell myself to remind myself, like the most important moment in an audition is when you open the door and say hi. In that moment, the casting director has decided if they're even going to listen to your audition or not. Because I mean, think about it. They have to see 500 to 1,000 people a day. Like they're human beings. Like eventually, you're gonna zone out. Like you need to focus on the people that you're gonna call back, and the people that are there that you're not gonna call back. Like it's not rude. It's just what they have to do as human beings.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's a filing system for them.
Yeah, in that first moment of hi, they say, "Okay, he's short." Like for me, it's like, "Okay, he's short. He has a cute face. And then they decide, "Oh, I can use him in this. Let's see if he can sing." But if they go, "Oh, he's short. Like I can't use that in this show," then why even listen to me sing? Like who cares? At that point? I could be the best singer ever. And it doesn't matter because they're like, I can't use that. Or like, his high seemed fake, and I don't like it. Yeah. Or maybe his high, like, I seem super genuine. Like, to some person it could feel super genuine, and to another person it could seem super fake. So like, there's so much that goes into that, and I find it so interesting.
Yeah.
It's still something that I'm working on and trying to master. That like, hi, how are you today? Like, how to make that genuine, nice, like feeling good, like but not fake, like
because you might have heard some things about that casting director that freak you out. You have to be like super, hello, hi, this is the best day of my life, thank you so much for having me.
And not come off as fake.
Right, which is super hard for someone with my tone of voice. So but
because I think we've all like obsessed over being the best. I mean, like, oh, that girl that went in before me sounded so much better than me.
Yeah.
So in here, and it's like it has nothing to do with that.
Right. Yeah. And it's just so true. I mean, even when as simple as doing the shows at NSU, when I directed my show, you know, there were people that walked in that I was like, hi.
I want to work with you.
Hello.
I don't think we would
click.
Yeah, and we have to spend so many rehearsals together. It's just like
and that's it's just so true. I mean, all first impressions, they say it from the moment you're in high school and you're doing any sort of job prep at all that people come in to talk to you about. You know, your first impression is a key. It doesn't matter if you've got, like for me, green hair, whatever. If my energy says, oh, I don't want to talk to you, then that's what it's going to say. No matter if I'm speaking nicely or eloquently, if my energy is totally off from what it is that you want or need at that moment, you're not going to like it, you know? And also to not make it all about you when you walk into the audition. You say, hi, how are you? You know, something like that, something that makes them feel included in your audition as well, because it shows that personality of being a human being and saying, wow, your day has been very long. I'm number 328. Hi. You know? Thank you, Michael, so much for joining us today on Tacobout It Tuesday.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
If you would like to keep up with Michael's journey, I will be linking everything he is involved with down below. My name's Alexandra.
I'm Michael Friedman.
Thank you so much for joining us on Tacobout It Tuesday. Don't forget to check out the description, not only to keep up with Michael, but to look at any websites to educate yourselves or any organizations that might need your help during this time. Also, check out This is Improv's extension. This is Legends of Yesterday, where we do history, mysteries, and ghost stories of South Florida on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Thank you so much. We will see you again soon. Bye.